welcome back to another video. If we haven't met yet, my name is Madison Dohnt, and on this channel I teach you all things holistic health so that you can understand your body and learn to heal naturally and become the healthiest you as well. So in today's video I'm going to take you to another skin appointment, and this time it is to get the lymphatic therapy facial. So I think this is quite a new treatment, so that's why I'm going to take you along on the ride and show you what's included and what it kind of looks like, but basically it is treating the lymphatic system. So basically what the lymphatic system does is it collects all the cellular waste and cell breakdown and all of that messy stuff, and it filters it through your lymph nodes back into your bloodstream so that it can then be filtered out of the body. So without your lymph system, you're going to have a lot of dead cells and cellular waste just floating around your tissues and your organs. So the lymphatic system is really important and one that isn't really taught much or talked about, and I do plan to do more videos of it on my channel, but this one is just going to be a quick little intro and then I'm going to show you the process. So the lymphatic system does look like the circulatory system in that it does look like the veins, I guess, or like the capillaries and arteries of the circulatory system. So if you just Google image lymphatic system, it should show you how it kind of branches out all over the body, and it also has white blood cells. So the blood does also have white blood cells, but so does the lymphatic system, because the white blood cells are basically your immunity. They're your immune defense, and they fight off any pathogens, bacteria, or anything that shouldn't be there, so any intruders. So what happens is those white blood cells sit in the lymph node, and so when all the cellular waste travels through the lymphatic system to the lymph nodes can then attack and get rid of anything that shouldn't be there and then filter it back into the blood to be flushed out. So that is kind of a quick rundown, but basically, just for some backstory, I have a swollen lymph node here, and it has actually been swollen since, so it is, what month is it? October 2020, and it has been swollen since the end of 2019, and I did see my doctor about it probably at the start of 2020, and he just said, like, there's some people, they just have swollen lymph nodes and they just stay there for the rest of their life. He said if it's really painful, then you can have surgery to get it removed, but if it's not painful, then the surgery is probably more hassle than it's worth. And sometimes it does get really, really sore, very rarely, but it's just annoying because it's like a rock, like right here, and it's not present on this side. But when I do get sick, I do get one on this side as well, or when I'm really tired and run down. So it's really interesting just watching my body and like do what it does, but I just know, because obviously I'm all about the root cause approach on my channel, I know that this one is still swollen for a reason. And even though my skin has gotten so much better since 2019 because of everything that I'm doing for it, I still do get breakouts here and there. So I really think this has got something to do with it. I think this is telling me something. And so, yeah, I think that it will be really interesting to see whether this treatment does anything for this lymph node. So basically what the treatment does, I don't really know much about like the chemical that actually gets put on your face, but I do know that it basically brings all the capillaries to the surface, and it allows the surface of your skin to be, I'm not really describing it very well. It basically flushes out all the toxins from the top layer of your skin, because usually the blood vessels don't get to like the top layer. So that's why you will see in the treatment, you'll be able to see like all of my veins and capillaries and everything come up to the surface. So that's good. That means that it's working, and it means that when they come up to the surface, they can flush more cellular waste and dead skin and all that away. So when you do have like breakouts and all that kind of thing, your cells are constantly, like even dry skin in things like eczema and psoriasis, because it's dry skin, it's dead skin cells, your body needs to like flush that cellular waste away. So this is just a really good treatment to do that. So yeah, I'll show you along and I'll show you what happens. This will be my second treatment, and you should be having them a week or 2 maximum apart. So you really need to have them in 3, in a block of 3. And so Claire, because I'm doing mine through Skin Vice, Claire recommended to do it weekly. Okay, so like a week apart. So my first session was about a week ago, and then this is my second session, and then yeah. So she said that there is a warning for people who tend to get really claustrophobic. I don't get claustrophobic, but then again, like, surely everyone has a stage where like something's a little bit too claustrophobic. So I was still a little bit worried when she said that some people can feel claustrophobic, that maybe it would be like, I don't know what I thought, that it would be way too tight on my face and I'd like freak out. But I didn't at all. It's just kind of like a clay mask that's like setting on your face, like, but really hard. So it's quite normal. It doesn't go over your eyes or your mouth or anything like that. So yeah, it's just like a mask that sets, but it has to be on for like 40 minutes or so. So you're pretty much just lying there doing nothing for a very long time, and it sets and it brings everything up. So I'm going to do a little time lapse at my appointment tonight. And yeah, show you what happens and talk you through what happens afterwards. Claire has said nothing but good things about this. She's done it on like her sister and a few other clients, but it is a fairly new treatment for Skin Vice, where I go for all my skin treatments. And just the way she talks about it, it just sounds like an absolute game changer. Like after 3 sessions, your skin is just like clear and glowing and all your problems fade away. So that's kind of how it sounds. I will try and put some before and afters of other people that I've found on like the internet and Instagram, so you can see like what the hype is about. Hopefully mine will look like that. I have been taking photos every now and again. I really should get on that and be a little bit better with that. And then towards the end of this video, I will show you my before and afters and let you know how I go. So I'm going to head off to my appointment so that I'm not late, and I will see you soon. Okay, so I forgot to take a before photo immediately before the treatment, but this photo here is from immediately after the treatment, so it hadn't really had time to work its magic yet, and for my lymphatic system to flush everything out yet, because it had just come up to the surface. So yeah, this photo is probably the best and the closest to a before photo. And then these second photos were taken the day after the second treatment, which was only 5 days later. So these first 2 treatments were actually a bit closer together. So you can see here that even after 2 treatments, it has really helped to make my skin more glowy, and even with my existing breakouts, it has helped them to clear a lot faster and to really calm them down and clear the inflammation around them too. I do have to mention though that after both the first and the second treatment, I did purge a little bit, and these were more cystic rather than the little whiteheads that a purge is usually, and that is simply just because my lymphatic system is doing some serious work. It is fighting off something because, and we know that because of my raised lymph nodes. So I am not thinking that everyone would experience that, but obviously my lymph needs flushing out, and so I think that I mean, it means that it worked because it's really bringing up everything that needs to be flushed out and it's making it do the work. So these cysts did end up going down a couple days later, unless I got a bit carried away and picked them, in which they took a couple more days after that. So they were actually pretty fast going. And I am really confident, because the skin around them is still really, really glowy since the treatment. I am really confident that it's not a bad thing, that, I mean, I don't know, I purged a little bit. It's kind of expected, seeing that my lymphatic system needs work, because when your lymph nodes swell, it's because it's fighting something off, because there are lots of white blood cells, which are technically your immune cells, in your lymph nodes. So I also experienced another one of my lymph nodes here swelling on this side. So it's all the same side, which is, again, like, there's just so many clues that kind of mean, I don't know, they just make a lot of sense. Like, it's not like I've got this one swollen on this side and then another one on this side of the face. Like, it's all coming down this side of the face. It's like a channel. So I know that it's working. I know that my body is fighting something and it's flushing something out. So these kind of symptoms, even though they can kind of be annoying and you might see them raised and be like, oh my gosh, like something's wrong, like I'm doing the opposite of what I'm meant to be doing. What actually happens is this treatment works with your body's natural healing process. So all symptoms they're just your body trying to do its thing, trying to heal itself. So our body is actually designed to heal itself. And I do talk about this a little bit more in this video here, but basically, like, when we get a fever, it's not a bad thing. A fever is say that we have a bacterial infection and then we get a fever. That is our body trying to make the environment inside unfavorable for that bacteria to survive and reproduce. So it's actually the body's defense mechanism. So when we take pharmaceuticals that just kind of dull the fever, we're almost just turning off our body's defense mechanism. So I know that this is just my body's defense mechanism. My lymphatic system is working clearly because it is flushing things out. It just means that there was clearly a lot to fight off and flush out, which, you know, my health journey and my skin journey is definitely a work in progress. It is so much better than it was back in 2019, but I know that we're not done yet, and even, I don't know if you're ever done, because you just have to constantly make sure that you are staying on top of the congestion so that it doesn't get too much and then cause those breakouts. So that's kind of what happened. I did need to just kind of make that little disclaimer, because even though majority of my face was a lot more glowy after the treatment, I did have cysts come up both times, but yeah, they only lasted a couple of days. So not to be worried, you're probably not going to do that, especially if you don't have a raised lymph node already, but I just thought that I should mention it. I think the glowiness and like the extra dewiness of my skin has actually increased my confidence, and I'm finding that makeup is going on a lot smoother and a lot easier, and it just looks a lot nicer. You can kind of tell the glow through the makeup as well. So I would say that even though I did have a few cysts to come up, I do think overall I am seeing a benefit once those cysts disappear. So it's not like I'm getting repeated cysts. It's like once they come up around day 3 after the treatment and then they go, that's it. And then I'm back to normal, but with glowy skin. Anyway, I hope that all made sense. I have my 3rd treatment coming up this week, so I will fill you guys in on how I go with that one, because yeah, I have only had 2 treatments as well, so you can't really expect to see like crazy results, but I will keep you up to date on my Instagram with the behind the scenes and how that one goes. So if you are not following already, I highly recommend that you go and do that, because that is where I share health tips throughout the week and kind of the behind the scenes on my own healing journey as well. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite beauty treatment is, and if there's any that you would like to learn more about, and I may actually think about going and doing those ones next, just so that I can give you some more information on it and I can ask my dermal therapist some questions as well. Make sure to also hit the like button below if you enjoyed this video, and also hit subscribe so that you don't miss more holistic health education and tips every week on my channel. But that is all from me for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video next week.